Hi everyone, my name is Oren and I'm going to start with a quick survey. On November 26th, Florida Gators take on the Florida State Seminoles in football. Can't really see, but raise your hand if you think the Florida Gators are going to win the game. And raise your hand if you think the Florida State Seminoles are going to win the game. There we go, this draws up a nice crowd. This sort of thing happens all the time. So on November 27th, after that game ends, those of you that pick the Seminoles are going to come into the office, and your friends who pick the Gators are going to brag to you that they picked the right team, or the other way around. So that's the basis for my application, SportsPicker, your daily dose of bragging rights. SportsPicker is a Facebook and smartphone application that allows users to compete socially on the day's sports events. To summarize, we're a year-round March Madness fantasy-style competition. So what's the dilemma? The dilemma is that I refuse to gamble on sports, but I want that same rush that the gamblers get. What are my current options? Well, I could go play fantasy sports. Last year, it was estimated that 32 million people ages 12 and up participated in fantasy sports. The limitation is that I have to root for individual players and not teams. I'm a sports fan. When I go to a game, I don't root for one player to have a great game and then my team not to win. I want to root for my team to win. So what out there can I do for that? Well, there's the NCAA March Madness. In 2011, the ESPN Tournament Challenge had 5.9 million brackets picked. That's a large number, but let's think about it differently. The brackets come out on Sunday at 6 p.m., and the first game starts on Thursday at noon. That's less than 4 days to get your picks in. In that time, that means 70,000 brackets were picked every hour, 1,100 brackets every minute, and over 19 brackets every second. But what's the limitation in that? Well, after the tournament ends in April, people forget about that excitement and they move on with their daily lives. So here's our solution, SportsPicker. SportsPicker, this is our Facebook application. As you can see, this is our walkthrough screen. You choose a sport you think you know, you pick the team you predict will win. Just a little fact is that underdogs are worth more points than favorites, and then you compete with your friends in the world. Here's a screenshot of what the NFL games look like for this week. You simply click on which team you think will win, and you check back on Monday or Tuesday to see how your results were on our standings page. The beauty of being on Facebook is that your standings page automatically fills in with any of your friends that are playing SportsPicker. So what's our differentiation? Well, we have a unique proprietary scoring system that is created on an algorithm based on the odds of the game. It's based on a 7-point structure. If there's a large spread in the game, then the favorite will be valued at 1 point. Last month that they are close to the 800 million member mark, and over 300 million members are going on daily. It's estimated that half the users on Facebook are playing games and applications. Eventually, we plan to expand to smartphones on the iOS and Android devices. Since 2007, over 200 million iPhones have been sold and over 130 million Android devices. If we break that down further into the application market, Forrester estimated that it was a $2.2 billion market in 2010, which is going to explode to a $38 billion market by 2015. Apple recently released numbers back in January that said over 10 billion apps have been downloaded to date, and Google says that over 6 billion Android apps have been downloaded. Break it down further to the social gaming market where we fit in, which was a $1 billion industry in 2011 from Gartner. So what's our business model? Well, SportsPicker is a completely free application. We're ad supported and at launch are working with multiple ad networks. Eventually, as our user base grows, we'll discuss exclusive marketing rights. Future business models can include premium upgrades upgrades, such as creating custom leagues, the way fantasy leagues work, specialty challenges, such as golf, tennis, and even the NCAA tournament when it comes around, and then eventually, potentially a virtual currency integration with our point system that seems like the natural way to move. So out there, competition-wise, our main direct competitor is ESPN's Straight for the Cash. The similarity is that it's a daily sports prediction game, but the limitation is that it requires users to make only one pick at a time. The problem with this is I don't want to make my pick, wait till the game ends, and then go make my next pick. So SportsPicker allows you to make all your picks at once, and then check back the next day and make all your picks again. And ESPN's app lacks all the social aspects of Facebook. You have to go out and find which one of your friends are playing the game, and then compare your score to them. Our main indirect competitor, I would say, is Words with Friends. New Toy, who makes Words with Friends, released a Scrabble-like game in 2007. Hasbro, the maker of Scrabble, released an application in 2007 that cost $3.99 on the iPhone. In February 2011, New Toy sold to Zynga for $53 million. So let's look. How did New Toy beat Hasbro to this success? Well, it's simple. They produced a simpler, more social, completely free version of the same game. So our marketing plan. Pre-launch, we have worked on our press kit development, which is now available online, and our social media management, where we have a Facebook page, a Twitter page, and a LinkedIn page. At launch, today, we are working on our media relations with press releases, reporter pitching, and app reviewers. We've also begun our paid advertising with Facebook ads and Google AdWords. In regards to the press release, we were scheduled to put our press release out today, but due to an unforeseen circumstance of Apple releasing a new device yesterday, we've decided to wait till that calms down a little and push our press release till next week. So what are our growth plans? Well, the application is live on Facebook today. We are making it now a soft launch with our grand opening launch next week with our press release. We plan to update the application with user-requested features and grow a strong and loyal fan base that's demanding mobile application. Today marks the launch of our development on the Apple iOS and Android, and we plan to expand globally into new untapped markets. At launch, we are launching with the major U.S. sports, including baseball, basketball, hockey, and college football and basketball. We plan to expand to European Premier League, Indian cricket, and really whatever sport we can get the odds and results on. And also, eventually, we plan to discuss exclusive marketing partnerships, as we discussed earlier. So here's just a visual of our growth timeline. To date, we've been working on Facebook and website development, and today marks the launch of the Facebook and the website, and also the beginning of our iOS and Android development. Our plan to launch on the iOS and Android devices is in the middle of November. So our management team. Myself and my COO, Oren Spritz, are recent graduates of the Thomas S. Johnson Masters in Entrepreneurship program from the University of Florida. Our CTO, Michael Buckby, is a graduate of the University of Akron with a computer science degree. Our CMO, Ian Schrey, graduated from the University of Oregon with a marketing degree. And our chief designer, Houston Kraft, graduated from Bowdoin University with a major in graphic design. Our advisory board consists of Silicon Valley veterans, including Hugh Sloan, who has helped raise funding for multiple venture-backed companies. He has connected us to Yu-Chang Chang and Lincoln Silver, both of World Golf Tour. Yu-Chang is the CEO and Lincoln Silver the VP of Business Development. World Golf Tour raised $20 million last year. And finally, Bill Rossi, who's the Chief Professor of Entrepreneurship at the University of Florida, and he has held leadership roles at Ford, Goodrich, and Picker International. To date, we have received a $100,000 seed round from the 2200 group from Boca Raton, Florida in spring 2011, and we are planning a Series A funding round in early 2012. Any questions? Also, as you can see, the app is now live. There's the link, apps.facebook.com/sportspicker, and our website is www.sportspickerapp.com. Thank you.
outreach and have you secured any ads yet?
We are using an ad provider right now, which really anyone could reach out and take advertisements. Their CPM, or cost per 1,000 impressions, is much lower than I would generate if I had the number of users out there. But once I reach that scale, the CPM will jump up.
What is the scale that you do need to reach?
I've been told that if I can get around 10 to 50,000 users in the first few months, ad providers will begin to create campaigns just for my application.
You mentioned kind of the big opportunity in Facebook and the Apple App Store and the Android marketplace. I mean, I'm sure you spend a lot of time looking at it. Obviously, a lot of times the stats are that a lot of those downloads and the number of apps that actually get attention. It's a very concentrated set of apps. So there's just so much noise out there in those markets. How do you try to fight through that and make yourself relevant to hit those download numbers that you need to hit?
I think the first most important part is creating a game that users enjoy playing and want to play against their friends. The unique part about SportsPicker is that it's a fun game if you go on and play it, but it's a way more fun game if you invite your 10 best friends and you all make your picks on Sunday and check back on Monday and you beat all your friends. You can post that on their Facebook wall directly. The viral sharing mechanisms are all built into SportsPicker.
Is the business model here to build something that has a big user? You mentioned the Zynga acquisition earlier. Is the business model here to build a user base that's attractive to the Zyngas of the world, or is it to build a long-term viable company that stands on its own? And I'm not saying one's right or wrong, but it might affect your strategic decision-making.
No, I do believe it is to build a large user base and allow a larger company who has experience handling a user base that size and let them come in and monetize. Zynga went in and bought Words with Friends, and now they've integrated a virtual currency platform on a game that had been around for 40 years without a virtual currency platform, and now they're generating revenue on it.
That was pretty much my question. And how much revenue are you anticipating to be able to expand it into other markets?
It's really dependent on the number of users that I get. Being today, the launch day, it's really going to be track the users, track the viral coefficients, and watch my really ad season